What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're making a video that correlates with the big football news yesterday, and that was J.J. Watt announced that after being released from the Houston Texans, he was taking his talents to Arizona to be a new member of the Arizona Cardinals, signing a 2-year contract. So I figure, why not? Let's do a 2-year rebuild with the Arizona Cardinals and see, within the realm of Madden, what does that free agency move do for the prospects of the Arizona Cardinals moving up within the NFC West, competing within the NFC, and competing generally in the NFL for a Super Bowl title. So we're here at the 2020 offseason. What will be fun is you'll see right away, I didn't do any scouting, so I'm pretty much got to go into this random generated draft class with 0 scouting, and I'm going to try to do all right. Also, I do want to take a stab at some of our contracts here for our Arizona Cardinal players to see if we can re-sign some of these guys. So I just simmed out the first year, and obviously we have Kyler Murray, 85. Drake set to be a free agent. I can't see us bringing him back. We have Deandre Hopkins, who's a 99. Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella at wide receiver, which looks pretty good. We got Max Williams at tight. We should just get through free agency first, because I have no idea what this roster is going to look like. But the big man that we all came to see, J.J. Watt, left defensive end, 95. Overall, wearing the retired 99. I think a news story actually just dropped today that I literally have never heard of the guy, but the guy that hold a 99 that has retired, I think they're like, yeah, JJ can wear it, which is a smart call, because, you know, J.J. Watt, 99, it's pretty much his brand. It's on brand. They're not going to want him changing that number for jersey sales and all that. So that's good. And I do think the prospect of J.J. Watt with this man right here, Chandler Jones, that is going to be very, very difficult to stop for opposing teams. They're a lot better than what their ratings would incline and matter. I think they're going to feed off each other. I think they're going to play off each other. And while he's 92, like they're the old dogs here, 92, 95, I think you're going to get two guys that are going to be absolutely ridiculous together. Hassan Reddick is our biggest free agent. I would like to figure out a way to re-sign him. And as we enter free agency here, I think that's really our big fish. We have Hassan Reddick. Kenyon Drake we can move on from. That's just, it's not terrific value. 27, that's kind of the jump-off point for a running back. In Madden anyways, if you don't have a superstar dev trait by 27, it's risky. You're going to have a risky return on investment. Pat Pete's a legend, but you know, we could probably do better, right? I would say this. I think in real life, Dan Earl's definitely under consideration. He's probably better than Max Williams in terms of tight end. But for Madden, his rating's not that great. But Hassan Reddick, that's the guy we want. 5-year contract. Ooh, that's a lot of money. But he's 26. A little bit different than a running back. He's not going to regress. We bring him in. He could be our right outside linebacker. Kick him to the opposing side. I mean, it's not like we're going to sign anyone crazy in free agency. We can get Pat Pete on a 1-year deal, trying to run it back. He wants to play for a new team. Okay, kiss my ass. Both sides, twice on Sunday. That'll be our one signing. We're going to find a way to get it. If you're a Cardinal fan watching this is like a dream offseason. I think if you look at all these guys as your real players, you would like Pat Pete in a sense that, you know, it's Pat Pete. He's a legend. But if you can find a way to bring in J.J. Watt, resign Hassan Reddick, and then still go into free agency with about $30 million of salary cap to spend and improve the squad, you're going to be pretty goddamn happy with it. Before we get into that, though, we have to address the elephant in the room, and that is the retirement of not Damana Pecco, not Jonathan Joseph, but Larry Fitzgerald has decided to retire after 17 seasons. You would hope in real life he'd want to suit it up for one more year now that they got J.J. Watt. Hell, even 2 more years. I mean, it doesn't really look like he's slowing down. I mean, obviously he's a role player now for that Cardinals offense, but it would be a little bit weird to see the Cardinals kind of make a win-now move in signing J.J. Watt, and then Larry Fitzgerald isn't on the team anymore. Out of everyone in the NFL, if I had to say there's one guy that I want to see get a Super Bowl, it definitely would be Larry Fitzgerald. So let's see if we could do that for him in memory. We'll just act like he's a member of Cliff's coaching staff or something over the next 2 years with J.J. Watt. So as I comb through the roster, everything looks pretty much as expected. We have Chase Edmonds as our RB1 entering this offseason. Wide receivers are what they are. We have Max Williams as our lone tight end. Could improve the right-hand side of the offensive line. Josh Jones, who was kind of touted coming out of Houston. Some guys had him as a first-rounder, potentially. We have him at right tackle. Maybe we tried to develop him there. On the defensive side, we got Watt, Jordan Phillips. I kicked Lecky Fotu into nose tackle. 23, maybe there's something there that we can develop long term. Chandler Jones, Jordan Hicks, and we got Hassan Reddick now at right outside linebacker. We have 2 corners on the roster, Byron Murphy and Jace Whitaker, so we're going to have to try to at least get a free agent or 2 at that spot. And at strong safety, we're going to kick Isaiah Simmons into middle linebacker. We let Devondre Campbell hit free agency, so we need to find another middle linebacker that we can pair back there with Jordan Hicks, and that is going to be Isaiah Simmons, just to maximize the talent we have on the roster. He goes from an 84 to an 80. Obviously, there's a little bit of a regression, but there's a lot more value to him as... I mean, we could have kicked Budda Baker to free safety and then kept Simmons there at strong safety, but I think there's obviously a ceiling there. Jalen Thompson's almost an 80 overall. He's 23. I think this is going to be the best way to maximize our assets on the defensive side of the ball for the Arizona Cardinals. So let's get into free agency, where I'm going to have to try to focus on free agency because I'm going to have zero scouting for the draft. This could be a rough draft. All right, we're spending money. We're going for it. We're going to maximize it. I'm looking at Marlon Mack at running back, 10-point upgrade, same age as Chase Edmonds. Robert Tonyan, Bob Tonyan at tight end, leading bid there, competitive offer from the Bengals. We got Pat Pete, no one offered him. That's, you know, I wasn't disrespected that he wanted to play for a new team, but there's no market. Come back for a 1 year, given the fact that we have one corner. Same with Garyon Conley. No other bids on him. I'm going to try to get Forrest Lamp, kick him to right guard. Has the dev trade, just one less position that we have to hit on in the draft. And then I'm just trying to grab a punter. We should be able to get most of these guys. Let's see, roll call. We got Marlon Mack, Forrest Lamp, Garyon Conley, Pat Pete, Charlton, Bob Tonyan. Is that everybody that we put a bid on for? Look, there's one I'm missing. Oh, we got everybody. Easy does it. So I had just the off-season worth of scouting. So that was, what, 3 weeks? And I was able to pull what I was looking for on the defensive side of the ball, not so much on the offense. I can only get this much scouted. We just to look for a right tackle, potentially. We got Carl Kinney here, early second rounder. Doesn't look too bad. But I was able to quickly scout what I know usually works on the defensive side of the ball. I was like, all right, if you're scouting D tackles, I need a nose tackle, right? We just kicked Fotu. There's only a 70. You always want to start on the bottom end of the D tackles because you could find someone. And look, I got Evan Diggs here, first round talent, 7th rounder. I was like, all right, corners. D tackles and corners are always juiced up. And I was like, all right, high end corners. Usually the first rounders look good. This was actually not the case. But down here in the 4th round, I got another first rounder here. Trent Anthony, another late first rounder. They're not going to be absolute studs, freak beasts, or anything like that. But they all look like solid picks. And I'm feeling like I should be able to get all 3 of them in this draft. But the trade-off is that lineman, I'm going to have to draft him first. And if he, like... I almost feel like we draft the corner first, and then hopefully we can get the lineman in the 2nd round. That's what I'm going to do because the lineman's not a first-round talent. So we're going to grab Trent Anthony here, 72 normal, number 21 in true value, get him at 13. It's not a bad player, good athlete. Let's see if we can roll that offensive lineman in the 2nd round, which I feel like we should be able to. Yeah, he's still there. Carl Kinney is there. And we grab a 70 hidden dev tackle, 37 in true value. God, I'm good at this shit. Let's go. And then in the 3rd round, I'm going to grab that D tackle. And then from there on out, I'm going to try and finesse based off of combine stats. But we're getting the 3 big players that we're trying to get. And Diggs, 72 hidden dev, number 20 in true value. God, I'm good. And I finished the draft. No freaky picks. Still just going off of combine grades, looking for speed, looking for the right, the combine drills. I was able to grab a 69 Terrell Wilbon wide receiver. Deep threat, great speed, great athlete, because obviously most of these guys are going to be great athletes because that's how I'm drafting them. Fullback cheese. Fullback, it's always go with the highest combine grade for a fullback. We don't have a fullback on the roster. I don't know if they implement. I assume they don't. It's air raid offense, but it just makes my draft look a little bit better. And then I finished with, this is actually... another really good player, height, weight, speed. Avery Leslie, 6'3" out of Houston. Guy was supposed to be a free agent, UDFA, and I was like, yeah, let's draft him. And obviously the cover stats, 59 zone for a corner is not what you're looking for, but big, long frame, and he can most likely develop. But what a draft for 0 scouting until the offseason. So for year 1 of the 2-year Arizona Cardinal J.J. Watt rebuild, we're at 83 overall, 83 offense, 85 defense. Changes, obviously, so we got Marlon Mack in free agency to be our running back 1. We signed Forrest Lamp in free agency to be our right guard. Kinney, our 3rd round pick, will get the start at right tackle with that hidden dev trait. Pretty excited for that. Oh, we can't forget Bob Tonyan at the tight end spot, 82 overall. Great receiver, another weapon for Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. On the defensive side, Diggs. Beautiful. Another rookie, hidden dev trade, getting the start at nose, and he's a nose tackle. I didn't even have to like fudge his weight. He's legitimately a perfect scheme fit, the perfect player for us to go and grab. We brought back in Patrick Peterson on a 1 year, Garyon Conley outside at corner. That's probably the only position I'm not super stoked on is the corner spot, but the linebackers look good, kicking Simmons into middle linebacker 1, and re-signing Hassan Riddick, not letting him hit the open market. It's just one less gap to have to fill for this team, but it's all about the man on the defensive line, J.J. Watt, and what he can do for this Arizona Cardinals program. And what we did just lose, 34-31, close game to the Seattle Seahawks. Garyon Conley, our top corner we signed in free agency, went up dev trade to a star. So we'll just kind of, another Houston Texan that's excelling in Arizona. We'll just put it that way. Midway point of year 1, 4-4. For the Cardinals, not exactly where we want to be, but the fact they're only a game back of the 49ers in the West, it's not the end of the world, right? So because it's only a 2-year rebuild, these are going to be like the last in-house free agent signings. These are going to be players that we want to carry over for the final year of this rebuild. I think Christian Kirk is a yes. I'm so glad we have a little bit of Skrilla here to spend. We got Kirk. Definitely Chandler Jones is also a yes. We're going to have roughly... that's going to come down with the draft class. Probably like $8 million in free agency. We could be able to get a veteran at some point. Maybe someone to plug and play along the offensive line in this upcoming free agency period. Or we make a couple roster cuts and free up a little bit more funds that way. But that's good, man. Our 2 top free agents, we can keep them locked in for this Watt rebuild. And much like Garyon Conley, here's J.J. Watt making everybody else around him better. Hassan Riddick has gone up to a superstar dev in a 34-24 victory over the Detroit Lions. I think we also have one here for Andy Isabella, for him to potentially... There's been so many dev trade scenarios come up this year. I've had Kyler Murray trying to go up through an X Factor. I've had Marlon Mack. And now we have Andy Isabella trying to be much like Garyon Conley, and Hassan Riddick can get up to a star. And with a 21-0 shutout victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars, we were able to clinch first place in the NFC West. A little tighter than expected. I thought we'd be a double-digit win team, but, it is what it is. Still pretty good. Still had a lot of... I'm happy with it, with all the dev traits and the draft that we had so far. This has been a solid rebuild. I want to see what the hidden dev traits were on those guys that we had. On the offensive line, Kinney's just a star. Still, that's not that bad. On the defensive side, our nose tackle is still hidden dev. That's ridiculous that our nose tackle, our starting nose tackle, has only played 495 reps all season long. It's probably a star. He hasn't developed too crazily. But yeah, the dev traits here. Riddick's a superstar. We got Conley up to a star. It's been good. I've been pleasantly surprised. Looking at the stats. Maybe a little bit underwhelming from Kyler Murray, to be completely honest. 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 14 picks, 61% completion percentage. That ain't great. Marlon Mack under 1,000 yards. That ain't great. Receiving, no 1,000-yard receivers. Deandre Hopkins under 1,000 yards. That ain't great. These are really bad numbers offensively. Defensively, a little bit better. Isaiah Simmons, 131 tackles, 11 TFLs, 6 sacks. That's pretty good. 12.5 sacks, 16 TFLs, J.J. Watt. I'll take that. I'll even take Chandler Jones not getting double-digit sacks. Riddick with 8. Nice. Interceptions, Garyon Conley, 4. Nice. So the defense was good. And I got at least the defense is good because we're focusing on J.J. Watt, obviously. Josh Allen was the MVP. In the NFC, we're probably not going to have too much here. No one had mind-boggling stats. And, of course, we have absolutely no one people sleeping on the Cardinals. But in year 1 of the 2-year, J.J. Watt, Arizona Cardinals rebuild. We're in the playoffs. We have the 10-6. Let's just sim this one because it's only year 1 of 2. We have the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees, less New Orleans Saints. Oh, and we're 1 and done. Defense, that has been the silver lining of our team this year, gives up 42 points to... Oh, Drew Brees still is there. Okay, he didn't retire. Still, hell no. Drew Brees sucks in the playoffs. That's not a great line. What did J.J. Watt and company do? Garyon Conley got an interception. Well, J.J. Watt even get on the score sheet? He had 1 TFL. Right, back to the drawing board. We still got 1 more year. We actually have no money to sign anybody. I don't really think even there's a guy that I could get rid of to free up funds. We just double check. I mean, we might have some salary whale on this squad that's going to be worth getting rid of. I'm thinking maybe Jordan Phillips, something like that. Who can we... Well, we're not getting rid of J.J. Watt. We could definitely get rid of Humphries, but I'm not going to find an upgrade there. Okay, we'll get rid of Pugh. Free up a little bit more money there. Could get rid of Phillips too. So that'll give us about, 20 million to hit the market. So we freed up funds by getting rid of some of our bad contracts, but we therefore then created holes on the offensive line at guard and on the defensive line at DN. DN is not going to be too difficult because there's defensive tackles grow on trees. I should be able to kick out a rookie that I could find in the draft. It's a lot easier to replace DNs than it is interior linemen. So I'm going to go for Jason Kelce at center. Massive upgrade. Hopefully he's in a mindset of chasing rings. And then I'm also going to bring in Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. It's a 2-point upgrade over Justin Pugh, who we had as his old partner on the offense. So let's make sure we get Kelce. That other bid from the Dolphins, I'm a little bit worried about that we might not get his services. But yeah, that'd be a huge get. Pretty much complete the offensive line. And then in the draft, let's just try to, get a little bit younger on defense if we can. So in free agency, we got Kelce, but Tardif went somewhere else. He went to the Giants, so we still need to get a guard here. Hey, buddy, no hard feelings, buddy. No hard feelings, Pewee. We need you back. I didn't even need to, I haven't looked at my scouting. Just trust me. I haven't even, look at all the first-round D tackles. We got Nelson in the 7th round. He's a first, again, all these guys, too, can get kicked out to be a DN in a 3-4. We got Hall in the 4th round here, mid-first rounder. Ooh, 41 bench and the good combine from a 42. We have Bates, late first rounder. We have Glover, early first rounder. Good 3-cone, good bench press. And we have Murray, another early. We're going to grab him. Terrence Murray, 77. Give me, I don't care about the depth rate. Right there, plug and play, day one, upgraded defensive end over Jordan Phillips. This early first round, 4th round edge rusher, and I'm not worried about it. I got the best players in the draft. C4, how'd you follow up getting literally the best 2 players in the draft? Well, what I decided to do was then just hit home run. 71 D tackle, 69 Kevin Einstein, center, 72 D tackle, and I was like, oh, C4 65, not too good at drafting, bud. Like the smell of your own ass. Oh, he's just hitting depth. Don't worry about it. What, got the DraftKings plug? That's a perfect sponsorship for me when I rebuild. Anyways, final year of the J.J. Watt rebuild. We're at 85 overall team, 85 offense, 87 defense. And on the offensive side, very close to getting a member of the 90 club in Kyler Murray. Same with Marlon Mack. He might have a chance. It'll be close. But the big get, obviously bringing Justin Pugh back was nice, but Jason Kelce anchoring things there on the offensive line. Hopefully he's going to make everyone else around him better. And just by having him on the team, our offensive line is therefore stronger than where it was last year. And all the skill position players have got better, no regression or anything like that. So offense is ready to be better than what it was last year. Defensively, a little bit of regression for sure here. We got, on the D-line, we're going to take Murray. First round pick, 77. I don't know what his rating is going to do. Usually they dip 1 or 2 points, but we're going to make him a defensive end. I don't know if he's left or right. I don't know what side J.J. Watt. I thought J.J. Watt was right. Of course he's left. He goes down to a 75. Still an upgrade over Zach Allen, and I'll make that proper adjustment. Other than that, again, we had the dev trait last season, Hassan Riddick and Garyon Conley. Chandler Jones has regressed a little bit, same as J.J. Watt. But they're still very, very much high-end players, and I firmly expect now with an X factor in Isaiah Simmons, this squad to not be one and done in the playoffs. And for the 3rd time in this rebuild, J.J. Watt has got someone else paid. Terrence Murray, our first-round pick, came in normal dev, a little bit frustrated, but only took 12 weeks on the line. He's gone up a dev trait, and I think a big part of that is J.J. Watt. And look at this. What? 3 dev trade scenarios. We got Andy Isabella, our starting slot wide receiver. This is the 2nd time he's tried to go up. Very good quarterback, Kyler Murray. Looking to have, I don't know what's probably going to be 4 touchdowns, no picks. Has to be the win. I think that's what it takes to go up to an X factor. Plus 350. Maybe. I'm doubtful a little bit, but there's a chance he could surprise us. And then lastly, we have Garyon Conley, who went up dev trade last year. Now he's trying to make the jump from star up to a superstar. Let's sim this one. Week 12 against the 4-6 Seahawks. Actually, we'll spend the XP first to make sure everyone has their Sunday best to enter this game. And you lose unspectacularly. And I don't think we're going to... Maybe defense. Usually in ugly losses, defense kind of might trend towards going up on an upgrade here. And shit. 0 for 3. All right, I'll tell you this right now. I thought we were 10-4, and then we lost our last 2 games pretty much the same. It was 34-7 and then 35-0. Didn't pull our starters. I don't know why. But essentially, 2 of the worst performances all year. Most likely cost us the number 1 seed. We finished 4. And now we got to play the Rams right away. But hey, at least J.J. Watt has made the Cardinals make the playoffs in 2 years. And that's a win within itself. Quick look at the stats. Statistically speaking, Kyler Murray. These aren't great numbers for a guy that, what, he's 91? 93! Ew! You know, you have Deandre Hopkins, and that's the numbers you're putting up? Ew! Still no 1,000-yard receivers. I love it when Deandre Hopkins, it just comes down to quality. It's, quality testing and franchise. Like, how many people, when they're like, all right, we're going to have to literally, our new franchise mode for Madden. How's it working, everybody? You know, I'm not saying you need to have all control over 30 teams, but I would like to think, like, the best way to get a quality control assessment in Madden 20, Madden 21 franchise, you have 32 testers. Have all teams be controlled, and then you have someone come back with notes. And the note would be, DeAndre Hopkins, how he's kind of the best receiver in the league. He's struggling. In 2 years, DeAndre Hopkins, who, look at this is his career before, 1,200, like, automatic 1,000-yard season for the most part, averages 8-9 touchdowns. Oh, yeah, he isn't even really that close to 1,000 yards, and, so stupid. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons continues to be an absolute monster. J.J. Watt, 15 TFLs, 10 sacks, looks good. Interceptions, turnovers, good again. Defense has been the all-stars of this rebuild so far. Mahomes got himself an MVP. In the NFC, what do we got? Probably nothing again. Oh, sleeping on the Cardinals. Because it's our final year, though, we will hop in, play the moments, pop a bear if we need to. Things get a little shenanigan-y because our offense, for whatever reason, is god-awful. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins have been incredibly underwhelming. So if that is the case in this Super Sim, we'll hop in and try to see if we can throw a tutty or two. Okay. J.J. Watt time. He's chasing the Super Bowl. Then again, while we're just talking about the J.J. Watt trade to fill the air of this Super Sim while we're not playing, I don't want shots fired at Arizona. I don't hate the Arizona Cardinals. As a neutral, they're a fun team to watch. But if you're J.J. Watt and you're kind of in the idea of like, this is your chance to go chase a Super Bowl ring, probably better teams than Arizona to go on. Not a lot of help on that Cardinals defense. Putting a lot of faith in Isaiah Simmons becoming the next GOAT or something like that. And we are just giving up instant touchdown after instant touchdown. And our elite defense is almost certainly going to be giving up a 40 bomb here. Makes me feel good. 45 points. Let's just come in and throw something just so I can shoot the shit. If you're J.J. Watt, you're probably like, Green Bay. That was a rumored team. Buffalo, I would argue, are all ahead on the pecking order in terms of like who's going to be a Super Bowl champion next. Whatever. DeAndre Hopkins didn't catch any touchdowns all year. Anyways, it's just. Yeah. Can I make amends here on another verse still it hurts? Tom Savage, UNLV offense here. I don't know. Best of luck to JJ. I hope that, oh my God, this is just my favorite part. I don't get to play a lot with Kyler Murray, with the quarterbacks that have the fun scrambling abilities. So it's always nice to be able to hop in and do that. But yeah, I wish the best for JJ Watt, and hopefully him signing with the Arizona Cardinals. Like this rebuild, I just hope that. Ooh, man, the Rams are all over this shit. I think we're on all Madden too. That's probably not going to help. I hope he doesn't just bring DeAndre Hopkins down to like wide receiver 3 numbers, because that's what's happened. That's a great touchdown right there, by the way. But, J.J. Watt comes, and then DeAndre Hopkins struggling to get over 3 touchdowns in a single season. So I don't know what's going on there. But we saw countless players improve around J.J. Watt. I think that's what you're going to get in real life. Shout out to Kyler Murray, 5 touchdowns here today. Shout out to my elite defense giving up 45 points against Jared Goff, for God's sakes. That's disgusting. But what you saw was J.J. Watt make a lot of people around him better on the Arizona Cardinals defense. Conley got better. That defensive end that we got in the first round, he went up to have trade. Hassan Riddick went up to a superstar. Isaiah Simmons, X Factor. I think that's what J.J. Watt's going to bring. At minimum, if not the postseason success, he's going to make a lot of those young players on the Cardinals defense that much better and elevate their game. So I guess that will do it for this little rebuild experiment here today with J.J. Watt on the... I mean, there's going to be other ones. I'm assuming if more trades or big free agency moves happen, I will just, see what happens. Dip into the old Madden franchise and have some fun with a rebuild. I literally think the highlight of this rebuild was just how goddamn good I'm at drafting I am. That first one with like 2 weeks of scouting, 3 weeks of scouting, money. And J.J. Watt's been solid. Obviously, looking at these numbers, that 2020 year was a sim year. Kind of throw that in the garbage. But 12.5 sacks, 10.5 sacks, all big-time numbers. I will just say that if you're a Cardinal fan and you're very excited about J.J. Watt, what the world of Madden says is that you get J.J. Watt on the defense, but hey, Deandre Hopkins is going to be garbage, and he's only going to average literally half of his yardage in a healthy season with the Houston Texans. Oh my God. Here's something I want to ask. I'm gonna put this on Twitter because I don't play other sport games, right? But in other sport games, like, does Steph Curry in the NBA games, like, I assume you have your three-pointers made, three-pointer percentages, he should be tops of the league. But when you sim in NBA, does Steph Curry's just 3-point percentage just go way down inexplicably for no reason, right? Like, does James Harden's steals go down? Does I don't know. I'm gonna date Jared Allen's not that good. Does Vucevic get 30 points a game in the sim? Does DeAndre Jordan average 12 rebounds a game, or is it like 4 rebounds a game? Is it just Madden that struggles to replicate the star stats in its sim, or is all sport games across the board this bad? Or is it just Madden? Because this is so bad. This is so unacceptable. This is so cheesy. But thanks, J.J. Watt, for being good. Thanks, J.J. Watt, for making Conley, Murray, Hassan Riddick, Isaiah Simmons all better. And that'll do it for today's rebuild. Thank you guys for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. We'll be back tomorrow with Chargers rebuild. We're getting real close to the nitty-gritty. 1 or 2 years left in the Chargers rebuild. We'll have another episode of UNLV before the weekend, and I'm hoping this weekend to have a new NCAA rebuild out to you guys. So lots of exciting content. Keep your eyes glued to that sub box, and I'll see you guys back on the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace out.